All right. What's going on, everybody? Brett Taylor here. I have been driving truck for 24 years, and I have never seen a combine loaded onto a trailer in less than 15 minutes. Until yesterday. These guys at CNH Industrial in Nebraska, they got this stuff figured out. Stick around and find out how. You're watching Patriot Specialized.
Right across these plains and prairies, Rocky Mountain highs, fade off into the distance like ghost riders in the sky. Black smoke and white line, steel horses.
This is what we got going on here. That one you just saw them taking off right there. That's mine. They put one on me. They loaded him before me, right before me. He pulled out. I pulled in. They put mine on, and as I was getting rehooked, they realized that it was wrong serial number. So they found it, and it was on his trailer. So they took mine back off, pulled me back around, pulled him back around. Now they're putting the right one on him, and I'll be pulling up there here in a minute to get that one put onto me. So, happens, but man, this place, I can't, even with this little mistake, these guys, this is quite the process. They are super fast. You don't even, I don't even get out of the truck to detach. Like, they do it all for me. You pull up in that little tunnel right there. They got a hydraulic plate underneath the ground. It picks up the trailer. They pull the pin, they do all this stuff, flip my dog ears, take my pins out, take my airlines off, and then they just tell me to pull up. I pull up, they load me, put the thing on, do their thing, and then have me back up, and they do it all, put it all back together for me. So this is quite the process, and man, these guys got this figured out. Like they are super fast at load and drive. I've been here about 2 hours now. I've been here about 2 hours 15 minutes or so, 2 hours 10 minutes, and they have loaded 15, 16 trucks, and they took a break in between there. So these guys got this, they got this figured out. And going on, everybody? So as I said in the intro, you saw some of the video of this thing getting loaded. I'm currently in Lodi, Ohio. Missed it. I thought I was going to make it home tonight, but just wasn't in the cards. I felt about 45 minutes short, so stopped in Lodi. I'm about an hour and a half from my house. Finish this thing up in the morning, get it there, get it back to the house, and then I'll be on vacation for the next week. But wanted to go over securement on this thing, show you what I did. This is, as I said in the intro, this thing is, it's one of the fastest loads I've ever seen. Unbelievable how fast they did this. But this is our baby right here. Looking pretty good. Unit weighs, they're telling me it was about 41,000 pounds, and I'm buying every bit of it. Scaled it out, and it's right there. So, show you what I did for securement here. Case did a real good job of putting these securement points in. They've got these securement points right here, where you can tuck a chain up underneath that thing, hook it on the top. And I X'd it so that it wouldn't run into these tubes and damage these tubes at all. I X'd it kind of far out. X'd one off this side and one off the other side. That's 2 chains. We get half credit for those things because they're not going all the way across. So that is 13,000 pounds worth, or that's 6,500 pounds of securement. This chain here, I ended up running it through the small holes here on both sides, going all the way across the other side to get full credit for that chain. So that's another 6,500. So right there up front, we've got 13,000 pounds of securement. Got our flags on the axles. These are the widest points. I measured this thing out. They told me it was going to be 11 foot 8 inches. I measured it out at 11 foot 3. So we ended up a little bit under our permit. But we got our flags on the outside of the axles. And I did basically the same thing back here. They got these pretty nice tie downs that we can use here. So I tied down straight to the trailer. I only get half credit for that. I did the same thing on the other side, just like this, up to the tie down. Got half credit for that chain. And then the third chain back here goes up through the hitch, comes down the other side, get full credit for that. So we have another 13,000 pounds of securement back here. So that gives us 26,000 pounds of securement on a 43,000 pound load, which requires 21,500 pounds of securement. So we're good on securement, even though we got 4 of those, or we're only getting half credit for them. We're good on them. I considered, instead of running this chain through the hitch, I considered coming off one of my D-rings down here and coming up through this and then running it behind that rubber plate there to the other one and down to the trailer, rather than doing it off the hitch. But I just didn't like, I was concerned that it was going to be rubbing inside there in the center and cause damage, so I didn't want to do that. So that's why I ran it the way I did. Works pretty good off the hitch. Some guys that were there, they were wrapping the axles, running a chain around the axle and Xing that way. I don't like doing that if I don't have to, because there's a risk of chipping the paint or scratching the paint. So I don't really like doing that if I don't have to. Good looking unit. Measured this thing out. Our width is 11 foot 3 inches. And the height, they was supposed to be legal. It was supposed to be legal height. I think we'd have been a little bit off. I wish they would have been able to load this the other way with that tube back there up front, because the front of my trailer sits at 18 inches and the back of my trailer back here is 20 inches. On these loads, everything they loaded yesterday, they added this block here into the bottom of this. This is all bolted together, and then they put this extra block. That is a true 2-inch, so that was another 2 inches that we went up. Bottom line is, what happened there is we ended up being 1310 tall, just a little bit over 1310. So that kind of got me, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But I want to cover securement. I'm going to jump back in the truck and we'll talk about the permit issues that this thing has because of that extra height. Not a huge big deal, but there was some additional cost there. So talk to you guys in a minute. So you just saw the video clip of me getting loaded. That was, man, I just can't, I can't even explain how amazed I am at how quick this process is. They were so fast at getting this done. Even though I was there quite a few hours overall, there was a lot of trucks in front of me when I pulled in. And then they had that little mix up with the 2 combines, so that cost us a little bit, because they already had, the way they did that was they pulled trucks around in a circle, and they send 2 or 3 trucks back at a time. When one pulls out, they'll send two or three back, and there'll be guys lined up waiting to go in, and it's a 15-minute or so process, and it just keeps, it's a cycle. It just keeps going and going and going. So they had a few lined up back there when they figured out that whole debacle with the serial numbers on this combine and the combine that the other driver had. So we ended up pulling out and sitting there waiting for them to get 2 loaded. The 2 that they already had pulled back there, we had to wait for them to get loaded, and then they went on break for about a half hour or so, and then they pulled us through. So you take those 2, I mean, that's an hour right there, and there was 5 or 6 trucks in front of me when I got there, so that was, you know, there was a lot of time involved there. That even though I was there a couple hours, 2.5 hours, the fact that how many trucks they loaded in that 2.5 hour period was just unbelievable. Just I would be more than happy to go back there anytime they want me to, man. You pull in that place, I think it's Grand Island, Nebraska. It's the CNH plant in Grand Island, Nebraska. You pull in that place and there's 20 trucks there, you ain't got to worry about it. You're still going to be out there pretty dang fast. So that was great, and the way they did that, you just saw the clip. I pulled that one off of him, put it on me. It was kind of interesting. I was laughing about it. You know, those guys are super good guys, and they were joking around about it and, you know, making fun of themselves. And that was, you know, this stuff happens. Like, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. And that kind of place right there, I don't mind when it happens, because they got a good process. They're working quick. They're trying to fix the problem. Whereas if you would have an issue and they wanted to take several hours to handle it, then I'd be a little concerned. But these guys were super fast. They caught it right away, and they were super fast about getting it taken care of. So I don't mind that it happened. It wasn't any big deal. I was laughing and joking with them, and it was all good. So even the other driver from TMC, I don't know if you're watching the channel or not, but he was also pretty relaxed about it. You know, it is what it is. No big deal. He was cool about it too, and him and I, you know, joked a little bit, and in the end, you know, we got out of there pretty quick. So what I want to talk about with permits on this thing, the Indiana, originally at legal height, Indiana will allow me to get onto 80 on the toll road with the current width that I have. We permitted at 11 foot 8 inches. We're only actually 11 foot 3 inches, but the permit says 11.8. They allowed me to get on, and they routed me onto the turnpike in Indiana, which would have been absolutely wonderful. And what I'm doing right now, sitting here, would not have been happening. That I would have made up that time easily running on the turnpike. But they will not allow you on if you're over height. So unfortunately, when I figured out this thing was 1310, we immediately had to reorder permits for the rest of the route. Luckily enough, we only had Indiana and Ohio ordered at that point, so all we had to do was change those 2, and they're both fairly inexpensive to do a revision on. So it was no big deal, but it did cost me some time today, and it put me in a position where I didn't make it back to the house tonight, which it is what it is. You know, you win some, you lose some. So that I'll get home pretty early tomorrow. I'm only probably an hour and a half from my house. I'll get home pretty early tomorrow, and I'll be on vacation from there. So hope you guys enjoyed this clip. Pay attention to maybe scroll back a little bit and watch that shot again of them loading this trailer. It was just unbelievable how quick they are. So hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you do, make sure you hit the like button at the bottom. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I appreciate that. If you got a comment or something you'd like to see, feel free, man, make a comment below. I enjoy I enjoy reading them, and I try to get back to everybody as quick as I can. So hope everybody has a great night. Talk to you on the next one.